Identity collapse is not ego death. It's not surrender. It's not lightness. It's not a higher version of you emerging from the wreckage. It's the point where you stop asking who you are because the scene no longer requires a character. You don't lose yourself. You lose the need to perform one. Ego death still runs on narrative, still needs a witness, still waits for spiritual applause. But scene ownership has no exit, no arc, no transformation. It doesn't elevate you. It erases the layer that kept you needing to rise. You don't float, you stabilize, you don't dissolve, you instruct, you don't let go. You take back the command key. There's no grief in this, no void, no awakening, just a silent click as the loop ends. The loop you thought was you. What's left is not a better identity. It's the one who places the scene with no need to be seen inside it. You don't live the story. You author the code. You were taught to explain yourself, to look at your past and make it mean something, to become someone through time. But that was never you. Your memories were just echoes of what you already broadcast, not proof of who you are. Not a path you had to follow. You are not a story unfolding. You are not the healed version of an earlier self. You are a signal, projecting now. The rendering engine doesn't wait. It doesn't look back. It doesn't need to make sense. It just moves. It just renders. It just outputs what's true in real time. Everything you thought was you was just the leftover data of your past broadcasts. The story was never needed, only the signal was real, and when the signal stabilizes, you stop asking who you are. You stop needing to be seen. You stop tracking where you've been, because you're no longer a self trying to arrive. You're a field that's already rendering. This is identity collapse. You don't build a new version. You exit the old one and start creating on without a self. You think memory helps you grow, that it makes you wiser, more aware, more real. But memory isn't a reference point. It's a rerun, a frozen imprint of a moment that's no longer occurring. And yet, you keep using it to orient what comes next. The memory you trust is not yours. It's a simulation-generated insert, a pre-coded loop embedded to keep you predictable, to simulate continuity, to give your identity a story to protect. Because memory isn't neutral. It doesn't tell you what happened. It tells you what the simulation needs you to believe happened. It filters, distorts, edits, and replays, not to help you grow, but to keep you looping. So every time you say, "I've learned from my past. I won't make that mistake again. I've always been like this," you are not creating. You are complying. You are still living from a memory-scripted identity. When you collapse the loop of memory, you don't forget your past. You erase the placeholder pretending it was real. You stop letting a phantom sequence dictate what comes next. You stop narrating your life from what you lived and start rendering it from what you know. And that knowing doesn't come from memory, it comes from field. Childhood was not your origin, it was your first reflected loop. The first time the simulation said, "This is who you are. This is what love looks like. This is how safety feels." But you were never shaped by it. You were placed inside it. And the mirror began recording, not you, the reflection. So when you think you're healing your childhood, you're really just decoding a mirror. The trauma wasn't real, the neglect wasn't personal, the approval wasn't proof. None of it came from source. It came from simulated architecture. It was data projected onto your nervous system to teach you how to seek. But you are not here to seek. You are here to replace the mirror, to exit the replay, to reclaim the field where no reflection is needed to exist. Most people think no identity means no structure, that you'll be floating, confused, disconnected. But it's the opposite. With no identity, You don't float, you land. You don't disconnect, you unhook. You don't lose structure, you regain authorship. No identity means you stop negotiating with the mirror. You stop reacting to signals that were never yours. You stop narrating your life from memory. The mind goes quiet, not because it's finally healed, but because there's no one left to speak. No identity doesn't mean blankness. It means speed. It means decisions without self-surveillance. It means creating without feedback loops. It means peace that isn't earned. No identity is unmirrored movement, unstoppable current, absolute authorship. You don't disappear. You just stop performing. You don't stop feeling. You just stop obeying the signals. This is what begins when the role dissolves.